Hi, I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you'd already know that the title of tonight's show is a question. And the question is, what's the answer? And that can be something that you are pondering in the next week or two. And the reason why is that this Monday we are having a fabulous full moon lunar eclipse at 9 degrees of Gemini. And Gemini rules communication and easy transitional change, and its ruler is Mercury, the planet of the mind. So that idea of, hey, what's the answer to something? This is a good time to be asking that, because Gemini not only rules communication, but it rules your pals and your buddies and your friends and your neighbors, and it rules early childhood education, it rules easy conversation, and it rules buying and selling and the middleman and the promoter, and it rules all kinds of journalism. And just like a good reporter, if you're looking for answers, you're going to have to follow up on a lot of leads and see where they go so that you can get an answer to something. But I think that the answer is perhaps not coming at the moment, and the reason why is that this full moon lunar eclipse is facing some pressure. And that pressure is from the fact that under a full moon, we know that the moon, which would be at 9 degrees of Gemini on Monday, would be opposing the sun at 9 degrees of Sagittarius. The actual pressure, well, when the sun and the moon oppose or square each other, that leads to indecision or confusion. And that's why, don't expect to get all the answers right now, but there's nothing wrong in asking a few good questions. However, these two planets, the sun and the moon, are facing greater pressure now because all of the planets, with the exception of one, Uranus and Taurus, are now direct. And that occurs by Sunday, the day before the lunar eclipse, when Neptune at last goes direct in Pisces. But that Neptune, which rules Pisces, is going to square the full moon lunar eclipse, and it's going to square the sun at the same time. So since it's now going to be direct right before this full moon, it simply means that there are going to be secrets coming out that will reveal a lot of information. And that's why I'm urging people to be good reporters and follow up on leads. Or if you hear something in casual conversation that sounds pretty interesting to you, I hope that you pursue it a little bit, because we all have to come up with answers to how to get back on track, or how to get over all of the daily activities that have been disrupted this year and get back to normal. That's what we really need, don't we? And so each one of us can look for answers on how to better our situation. But at the same time, there are going to be some very good job opportunities out there as we go into the holiday season, that maybe that's the answer to something for you, finding another job. Gemini rules temporary or part-time efforts. So with Uranus in Taurus trining Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn in Capricorn, which represents large corporations and government agencies, this is a time now when perhaps the answer to one of your problems could be maybe a part-time job. Maybe that would just be something that could tide you over for a while. And so with these 4 planets beautifully trining each other in the earth signs, this is a time when a job opportunity, even a part-time one or a temporary one, could lead to long-term gain. That's what Capricorn rules, and that's where those 3 planets are. So that is very good news. Then there's a grand trine in the water signs. Well, that's pretty good too, because the water signs rule our feelings and our emotions and our families and our homes. And so with Neptune in Pisces, it simply means that secrets are going to come out. We might get some answers to things that had been hidden behind the scenes, and that could help answer a few of our questions. And then Venus is in Scorpio, and Scorpio does rule justice. So truth, justice, and the American way could actually give us a more positive understanding going forward of what's really important to ourselves and our country. Because they're trining the moon in Cancer, or not the moon in Cancer, but they're trining each other. And that simply means that there's going to be a lot of justice done. And because Pisces rules the oil and gas business, and Neptune is going direct the day before the lunar eclipse, I think that there's going to be secret information gushing out, absolutely gushing out. There will be a lot of it. And that is something that we need in order to get some answers to things. Will we get all the answers that we need right away? The problem is, I don't think we will. And that's because of the harsh pressure of both the sun and the moon and Neptune under this full moon lunar eclipse. But still, the effect of an eclipse lasts for 6 months. And we say under a lunar eclipse that one woman goes and another woman comes. That could happen anytime in the next 6 months. And that might help answer a problem as well. Okay, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, this is a time when I think that you can be rather happy with the idea of moving forward, or should I say charging forward, Aries. And the reason why you may feel like doing that is because Mars is direct in your sign, which is just great. It simply means that you may feel that, well, you feel like going out and pursuing something. You may want to go, say, from full-time to part-time in your career. Nothing wrong with that. That would be favored by that full moon in Gemini. Or you may want to take a short trip, or you may want to take on even another job besides the one that you have. Maybe you need a little extra Christmas money right now. You are extremely well aspected to make travel plans to go a long distance, perhaps over the holidays. That would work out really well for you, Aries. And so it's very important to realize that, you know, instead of stagnating wherever you are, under the pressure that you've been enduring this year, you should maybe try to move on. And that's because Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn in Capricorn are squaring Mars in your sign, and they would be setting up a lot of resistance to any new start you wanted to make. And because you would be discouraged from making new starts for one reason or another, that could be pretty depressing for you, Aries. Why don't you just start over somewhere else? Because your sign rules new beginnings. At least starting something new is going to give you a sense of achievement and enthusiasm. And that's the way to head into the holidays. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, remember I said there's still going to be plenty of job opportunities around, even if they're just part-time or temporary, that can lead to long-term gain. And that is because Uranus in your sign, which is a fixed financial sign, is beautifully trining Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto in Capricorn, the sign of time. Because Capricorn rules the 10th house of career, but it rules the rewards that come from having a long career as well. So that's why I'm saying that, you know, if you wanted to go back to a job that you had before, but maybe do it only part-time, that would work out really well for you, Taurus. or if you wanted to cut down a little bit now, and that would give you enough time to maybe start something new behind the scenes, oh, maybe you could do that too. In other words, you may want to branch out little by taking baby steps in a new direction and still have something pretty secure coming into the bank. And you could do that right now, Taurus. You should take advantage of friends or people that you know or you have known for a very long time that you can trust, and you should go with people that know how to get through trouble. And they, the survivors, those are the people that you need in order to make a long-term plan work. And I think it can, so congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Oh, Gemini, the full moon on Monday is in your sign at 9 degrees, and that means that the sun is at 9 degrees of Sagittarius, exactly opposing the moon in your sign, Gemini. And to complicate matters, Neptune in Pisces will be direct. It's going direct the day before, and it will be squaring the moon and the sun as well. And what that means, since Pisces is a double-bodied sign, and your sign is also a double-bodied sign, Gemini, which means two of everything, it simply means that there can be indecision and confusion around due to layers of disinformation. In other words, if somebody layers on a whole lot of disinformation and then they decide to build on the original premise, which is not true, and add another layer of disinformation, then nobody knows what's going on, and that's why the show is titled, What's the Answer? What we really have to do is dig down deep and find out what the real answers are to things, and it's going to take time. And so there aren't any planets in the other air signs. Your full moon lunar eclipse is the precursor to a change that you may want to be making sometime in the next 6 months, because by the end of May there will be a solar eclipse in your sign. And that's when you probably are going to start something new and wonderful, or make some great deal, or some sort of a compromise, or do something that you're very interested in. But you have to set yourself up for that first, Gemini, and it means you're going to have to get rid of the layers of disinformation first. And then when you get the answers, you can go forward. So good luck. You've got your work cut out for you. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is a time when, remember I said with Neptune going direct on Sunday, and then the full moon lunar eclipse is on Monday, and Neptune is squaring that full moon lunar eclipse and the sun as well. It simply means that there's a lot of misinformation around and deliberate confusion that people have been sowing. And so it also means, since Neptune is direct during the full moon, that there is going to be a real gusher of secret information coming out. This will do you a world of good at Cancer. And the reason why is that Neptune in Pisces trines your sun, and also that Venus in Scorpio is trining your sun. You may get much stronger when you find out the real truth about something, or you may decide, since the full moon lunar eclipse is right behind your sun sign, so it's in a lot of light in the background of your life right now, Cancer. It simply means that you may want to make one or possibly two part-time choices behind the scenes. You might want to take a short trip. You might also want to start a short project, or you might want to do something that is steady, but just part-time, not full-time. You could do all those things and not say too much to anybody. In other words, I think that this is a time when we're all looking for answers, but while we're looking for an answer, particularly while you're looking for an answer, Cancer, you may just want to try a few things on. And there's a lot of light in the background of your life. You could see different opportunities of things you might want to follow up on. And if you don't like them, that's fine. Try something else then. So I think that this is going to be sort of an experimental time for you, but it should also be a time when you are really looking for answers, and believe me, you're going to get them, Cancer. So if you've been wondering about anything, even secrets from long ago, you may get the answers. I don't think at the moment you're going to get them all, but you will by summertime. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, this is a time when I think that you can be wondering if you should spend some money. And you may, since we're facing the holidays, you may decide you want to spend a lot of money. After all, Leo is the sign of generosity, and Christmas is coming. Maybe you want to play Santa Claus, Leo. But on the other hand, you have to sort of look and see which way the wind is blowing and be cautious. And the reason why is it would pay you to do that. And that is because that full moon lunar eclipse is sextiling your sun. You're not getting hurt by that at all, Leo. And the sun in Sagittarius is trining your sun. The lights are very favorable to you right now. So yes, you could go off and make some grandstand play. But I urge you to think a little bit about that. First of all, I think you need to plan it a little bit more before you do it and not do anything impulsive. And then I would still think twice. The timing may not be quite right. And the reason why is that as we enter 2021, it is going to be a year of tremendous gridlock. And that'll be financial gridlock. And which side of that do you want to be on, Leo? So, you know, you might be better just waiting for answers to come in, perhaps over the next 6 months, and then make a decision for yourself when you have more information. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is a time, since yours is a mutable sign, that, boy, you need to be really careful, Virgo. And the reason why is, the question is anybody telling you the truth, Virgo? Well, I don't think you can answer that question. You wouldn't know. And the reason why is that there are 3 planets in a harsh T-cross in mutable signs, and they are pouring all of their frustration into your sign. Now, your sign is trined by Uranus and Taurus and by Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn in Capricorn, so that's real good for business. But as far as knowing secrets about hidden activities behind the scenes, I think that you're going to find some things out, but I think that you could be shocked, or perhaps possibly not even believe what you're hearing. That's why the show is titled, What's the Answer? I don't think we're going to get the whole answer right now. You are definitely a person that should start asking that question, because the full moon lunar eclipse in Gemini is squaring your sun sign. The sun in Sagittarius is squaring your sun sign. And that direct Neptune in Pisces is opposing your sun sign. You have been misled by, I would say, at least 2 people or 2 organizations or more. And you have been sort of led down the garden path. And you need to really look things over, Virgo, because as long as you stick to business and money and love, retirement plans, anything that involves accounting or service to others, which is what your sign rules, you're doing great. But the world isn't made up of everybody that's like that, Virgo. And so there can be some people that have been crying on your shoulders only to see what they can get out of you. In other words, you know, if they can do nothing and get it all from you, that's a gain for them, right? And a loss for you. You have to understand that. And so if I were you, I would re-examine some people who may not be all that they seem to be right now. And in your relationships, I think you're going to get some surprises. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, this is a time when some of the pressure is off you. In fact, some of the pressure can be off a lot of people right now, and the reason why is because there are so many direct planets. You know, most of the year there have been a lot of retrograde planets. What does that equate to? Delay, delay, delay. That's how you could describe 2020. But there's only one retrograde planet now, Uranus in Taurus, and all the other planets are direct. And so Libra, that means that I think that it's possible for you to expand a little bit right now, because the full moon lunar eclipse in Gemini is beautifully trining your sun sign and the Aquarian sun sign. Well, Aquarius rules the future. There is some possibility of starting something that is only part-time, or maybe it's temporary, but it might lead to long-term gain. And so if you're sort of thinking of taking that first experimental step in a new direction because you're not feeling as threatened as you used to be, you might think about that, Libra. That's a good idea. Your sign, all the air signs, and that includes Gemini and Aquarius, are going to get a lot of serious support once Saturn and Jupiter go into Aquarius in December. And so, next year it's going to look different. And that's why it doesn't hurt you to start thinking about something new right now, even if it's only part-time. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Scorpio. Just like all the other fixed signs, you have to be real careful with the money. And oh boy, you need to listen to that, Scorpio, because 2021... you're going to have to be a warrior to get through 2021 as far as gridlock is concerned about financial matters. And that is how is that possible? Because there's going to be so many malefic planets in the fixed signs. The 4 fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, your sun sign, and Aquarius. And when these malefic planets come up against each other in fixed signs which don't budge anyway, you're looking at tremendous gridlock and possibly big things possible that are absolutely awful, such as war, and which is what your sign rules too. So if I were you, Scorpio, I would, get your financial records in shape, but try not to spend a lot of money right now. And I would be real careful about that in 2021 as well. In fact, I urge everybody in 2021, no matter how much money you've got and what you can afford, save it. You're going to need it. And at the end of 2021, you can zoom into 2022 and get whatever you want. But it's going to be real hard financially on 2021. Because too many people want to manage. There'll be gridlock about money and managing money and fights about money. So stay out of it, Scorpio. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Well, Sagittarius, the sun is in your sign. Isn't that wonderful? You can sort of feel all lit up right now because Mars in Aries is trining your sun as well. That's great. So you definitely have some new beginning in your mind somewhere, Sagittarius. And I think that you're sort of getting ready, or you're getting closer to the start date. And maybe it's just that your planning is winding up. That's part of a plan. Part of a plan is getting all your steps in order and getting your budget in order and your time schedule, all that stuff. So you could be winding all of that up right now. And then in the middle of December, you're going to have the first of 3 eclipses that will occur in your sign between December of this year and December of next year. And so, yes, you're on the verge of something new right now, Sagittarius. But oh boy, that lunar eclipse in Gemini is opposing your sun sign right now, leading to indecision and confusion. So I don't think you have all the answers, Sagittarius. You could keep looking for them, but I don't think anybody's going to get all the answers at the moment. I think it's just important to start asking the questions. And if you don't get answers you like, you better ask more questions until you get the truth. And then Neptune in Pisces is also squaring your sun. So the secrets that come out about covert activities behind the scenes may jar you a little bit, Sagittarius, or challenge you a little bit. And that's why this is a time when, if I were you, I'd continue to think of starting something new. But if it involves something like travel, I can guarantee you it would work out really well. But if it involves something that has a much longer commitment to it, I think you'd better tread softly and not plan on instant success, particularly, you can go forward, but I don't think you can go the whole distance next year. But you will get a lot of help with whatever you're planning. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is a time when you may be sort of feeling your oats. And that's because there are 3 planets in your sign, Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn. And they are winding up their stay. 2 of them are. And that's because both Jupiter and Saturn, excuse me, are going to leave your sign in the middle of December and go into Aquarius, where they will immediately begin to square Uranus and Taurus. And so, since they're winding up their stay in your sign, I think that that's a real clear indication that you are winding up some level of participation or achievement in your life. Let's just say that as difficult as 2020 has been for everybody, that somehow you've just keep going. Capricorns are very consistent, and that you are pretty well prepared to go the next mile or go the next step, or you are pretty committed to what you want to do as the year ends and how the new year opens up. And I think that that's a good idea. The saving grace in all of this, even though those 2 wonderful planets are leaving your sign, where they've both been very strong all year, is that Pluto will remain in your sign until 2025, where it will be continually trining Uranus in Taurus. And so that may help you achieve longer-term security and achieve some sort of recognition in the world. You could become a pretty important person by 2025, Capricorn, so just keep plugging away. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, certainly you can be asking, what's the answer? And that may refer to a financial matter for you, Aquarius. And the reason why is that Uranus in Taurus is squaring your sun sign. But and that means that the value of your investments can suddenly fluctuate, sort of back and forth in surprising ways. And that can lend a little uncertainty to your life. But on the other hand, the full moon lunar eclipse in Gemini trines your sun. And that simply means that if you are ready, Aquarius, to start a part-time project or a temporary effort of some kind, this is a really good time to do that, and it may affect your future much more favorably than you can imagine right now. So you may want to follow a favorite interest of yours. Maybe it's just a pastime, maybe it's something you sort of do in your free time, but why don't you go ahead and do that? You never know where that'll lead, Aquarius. So this full moon lunar eclipse in Gemini is very favorable for you. It also accentuates buying and selling, and marketing and promotions and easy transitional change. You're going to be able to make a very easy transitional change before Christmas. I mean, you'll be doing just fine. So you don't have anything really to worry about right now, Aquarius. Just sort of calm down and don't take a lot of gambles with money, but instead try to really enjoy the simple things in life during the holidays. I think it will relax you. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, yours is a mutable sign. And the big news is that Neptune is going direct on Sunday in your sign, Pisces. It has been retrograde for months. But now it's going to go forward, and it is the ruler of your sign. It is very powerful in your sign. And so the problem is that the full moon lunar eclipse in Gemini squares that Neptune in your sign. And the sun in Sagittarius also squares Neptune in your sign. And so you've got the light sort of challenging you right now, Pisces. And that may indicate that there's a lot of indecision and confusion from other people. In other words, maybe you're not too confused about what you want to do, but they are. And because of that, people are not quite able to reach a final answer or a conclusion or a commitment to something right now. But the answer can be coming. And I think it will come. What you need to do, Pisces, is concentrate a little bit more on facing the truth. Because Neptune direct in your sign means that secrets behind the scenes will be uncovered, they will be revealed, and they'll be judged. So truth, justice, and the American way are going to become positive motives for seeing that justice is done. So I sure hope you're on the side of the angels, Pisces. That way you'll have a nice Christmas. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show and read our blog on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.